Dylan mentioned it a few moments ago, we are talking about set rotations. And some folks were curious. A question that a lot of folks are having is, what about, like, say, for example, the cards that you've acquired or whatnot, and you've moved on, and are they going to be a little playable? So it's important to note that in Fabled, and I have a little asterisk I want to put there, but in Fabled, they did confirm that some cards, or actually a lot of cards, are actually going to be reprinted and made available in Fabled. Now, there are a variety of cards that have been confirmed to be reprinted, but one of those, just for example, is Rockstar Stitch. And you might be listening to this thinking, what is a reprint? So essentially, what they're doing is in Fabled, they are going to be taking cards from the first 4 sets that are going to be rotated out and reprinting them, making them available in Fabled. The difference here is that the art is going to be the same for now. They said, that's not me saying that, that's what they said, but the art's going to be the same. The name's going to be the same. The abilities, the strength, lore, willpower, etc. is going to be the same. But the little chapter indicator that we have on the bottom left of cards, that will say 9. So that'll be set 9 Fabled. If a card like Rockstar Stitch is in Fabled, you can continue to use your printed first chapter Rockstar Stitch. So for as long as that card is legal in a set that's in active rotation, if that card was printed in an older set that's been rotated out, you can still continue to use it until, say, for example, Fabled gets rotated out and maybe Stitch Rockstar doesn't get reprinted. So there are a few cards that have been confirmed, Rockstar Stitch being one. Maleficent Dragon, which actually, if we pull up here real briefly while we're talking about it, Maleficent Dragon, do we have that? No, we don't think we have the set champ one here. But Maleficent Dragon is actually going to be the set champ card for Fabled. We did get that confirmed. So she's going to be reprinted. And also the Tinkerbell Giant Fairy, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But in terms of the reprints, I think I haven't really seen any negativity around reprints. Now, I think the biggest question is what is going to get reprinted. Because I think they've confirmed that over half of Fabled is going to be reprinted cards. So,
Yes. They said
yeah.
Fabled is going to be the largest set that we have had so far. They have announced that it is going to be a bigger set, but half of the cards will be reprints.
Okay.
And
So,
then to follow up on something else that you said, they have also came out since this May 6th thing and said that even though it was said somewhere along the lines that the reprints won't have the same art, that is not true. That there is quite a bit of them that will have the same art, but even in Fabled, there are going to be quite a few of them that have alternative art in
mhm,
comparison to the first prints.
mhm. Now, well, again, we have a big asterisk next to that one for Rain of Jafar we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah,
But I think, again, it's speculation, right? And I think the biggest thing right now I see in the community is I hope they don't reprint Be Prepared, or I hope they don't reprint Brawl or Sisu and stuff like that. And we could sit here and make an argument for and against probably every single card in the sets that are getting rotated out. So I think it's just one of those things that we just need to wait and see what happens. I have a few thoughts. I know Dylan and I have had conversations. I'd be like, I had a hot take. I'm not going to say what that hot take was, but I was like, I hope this card doesn't get reprinted. And Dylan was like, what about this deck? I'm like, you're right. So I don't know. Is there anything we would like to see reprinted? How about that? Is there anything you would like to see, definitively, like, I would love to see this card reprinted. I don't want to let it go yet.
absolutely. The entire bounce package. Like, we haven't
Ooh,
had,
okay.
the bounce package since Floodborne?
Yeah,
I mean,
Arthur
I'm
deck.
sure we've had some cards. We've had some cards, but the original bounce package with the Mims and the Merlins and stuff like that, if you're getting rid of Floodborne and you're taking out of rotation, we really haven't heard anything or seen anything since then with bounce, and I think that is such a fun package overall to play with the abilities that
You know
I
what I
think
think?
some of those should and need to be reprinted.
My wife chose violence, and we were talking one day, and she's like, "I hope they don't reprint the Browns." I was like, "You did not just say that," because again, blurple, and, whatnot. So yeah, no, that's an excellent point because we don't have anything else that bounces. Like we've gotten some cards like in older sets, like I think Shimmering Skies, Azurite, like Mim Elephant, for example. But in terms of just Snake, Fox, Rabbit, Goat, Arthur, you're right. We haven't Crab. We haven't had any other cards give similar abilities like that. So it's a staple. I like it. I like the bounce package quite a bit. But yeah, I think you're right. I could see them reprinting that because we haven't had an alternative to that. But let me ask you this: does every like for everything that gets rotated out, does it need a reprinted alternative?
Talking about the alternative art.
Or I mean, like that just like if it rotates out, like if there's not a newer card that does something similar, like I guess like could we see mechanics fade out of gameplay? I think it's going to happen, but I don't know about bounce.
I don't know if they'll ever like truly fade away. I think that every mechanic that we've had in the game so far will reappear in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
That I don't know. I mean, let's talk about Brawl or something like that, or even like we talked about Calhoun and the Robin Hood. So this ability that you see with Thebes and Calhoun and Robin Hood of let me challenge something, banish it, you get 2 lore. Okay, those cards might go away, but now we have Mushu who gives that to all of your characters. Again, that goes back to your power
Yeah.
creep that you talked about. But in some way, shape, or form, set rotation allows them to master cards and re-put abilities in new ways. Heck, we may eventually get a new FORTISPHERE in that has that when you play it, draw a card, discard a card.
AKA Steve Warner, are you listening to Dylan right now?
Yeah.
That's second crowd from Dylan here. Steve, we really need you to listen here. Just kidding.
Or Greg, somebody, hello.
Greg, somebody, Greg,
We
Greg,
don't know who's in
Ryan,
charge
somebody.
anymore.